course, another one of the complaints from the weekend with all of those marches was that Australia is being changed without our consent. Well, that problem's happening in the UK as well, with a new report finding that the British countryside is, well, too British. Have a look at this headline. Overwhelmingly white countryside needs more halal food, report claims. Now, as you would appreciate, this report comes from a university. Where else would it come from? A Centre for Hate Studies has found that people of ethnic backgrounds feel discomfort in the British countryside because it's too white. They suffer a psychological burden trying to navigate white spaces, whatever that means, and that they find the traditional pub culture in the British countryside to be exclusionary. Some of the complaints that they found in interviews with 115 people over 2 years was that people of non-British descent found that they were often stared at when going into the British countryside, and they often encountered what they called hostile body language. So to overcome all of this, the report has a chapter entitled "How Can We Make the Countryside More Inclusive?" Some of the suggestions: halal food be served in British pubs, prayer spaces be created, presumably in British pubs, and that there needs to be a willingness on the part of people in rural communities to change. Which makes me ask the question, Freya, why is it on the people in the British countryside to change? Why would those visiting the countryside not take it upon themselves to adapt to the local culture? Why do the Brits have to change?
Well, and it's very simple. If you want to be in the ethnic majority, go back to the country you came from. If you're Pakistani, go back to Pakistan. If you're Chinese, go back to China, wherever you're from. I mean, it's perfectly simple. We don't go to China or Pakistan and say, oh, I feel the body language I'm experiencing right now and the microaggressions from everyone in this mosque staring at me is just really distressing, and you all need to convert to Christianity and serve some kosher food so that I feel comfortable here. You wouldn't dare do that because it's just ridiculous. And we know that is illogical. If you go to another country where they have the ethnic majority, you don't demand that they change. But
well, that would be called colonisation, wouldn't it?
Well, it would be. And this report, I mean, I must say, it started with a trigger warning. So anything that starts with a trigger warning, you know, don't take it very seriously. And someone speaking on behalf of the rural community in the UK, they criticised this and said there's actually no data to support that rural England is any more racist than anywhere else in the country. And the whole report was based on a bunch of interviews, not even data, nothing concrete. This is just a waste. The only thing this report is good for is toilet paper.
Well, if you can't find racism, you have to invent racism, don't you? I mean, 3 points. One, the University of Leicester's Centre for Hate Studies. This makes me hate studies. So, yes, you've got that one right.
Well done.
2, they're complaining that people feel like they get stared at when they go into the British countryside. Well, I mean, it is human nature to take notice of something that seems out of the ordinary. Now, look, if you're walking around London, seeing a Muslim person is not out of the ordinary, but maybe it is if you're walking around the Cotswolds. And so you go, oh, look, it's a Middle Eastern person. It's not because they hate you. It's just because they haven't seen that many of you around recently. Of course they're going to stare. It's like seeing a hot chick in Newtown. There's not that many of them around, so of course you're going to take notice of it. And third is this business about the pub, right? Oh, they think the pub culture is exclusionary. I don't know how many pubs the people from the University of Leicester's Centre for Hate Studies have been to. I'm going to guess not that many, because they probably get booed out of a pub for being boring and wanting to talk about the rubbish that they come up with in their academic life. But in my experience, the pub is the great melting pot of any community. It's where you can go, whether you're on your own or with mates or whatever, walk in, order a pint. You're going to run into someone who's a neighbour or someone in the community. You know, you can talk to anyone. You meet all sorts of people at the pub. If I moved into a new neighbourhood and I wanted to go and meet some people and get a feel for what was going on, the pub is the first place I'd go, because you're sure to meet some good characters in there. I don't buy for a minute the idea that you feel uncomfortable in a pub, unless, of course, they're saying it's because alcohol's being served in there so a Muslim can't go in there, in which case don't go to the pub.